When we go on vacations, it's expensive because we paying for a mortgage, we paying for cars, we paying for car leases, we paying for insurance, we paying for property tax, we paying for car maintenance, home repair. We paying for everything while we're going on vacation, while our house sits empty, while our car is not being used. The key is you're trading out your house, your cars, your stuff in America for your housing, your public transportation, your food in different cultures and amazing food and new attractions and new culture on the road. So that is how a lot of people are able to travel full time from country to country. And most Americans don't know about this and they think, oh, you must have millions and millions of dollars to travel full time like these people. That's what most Americans don't know is that most Americans can do this. When my husband and I were getting ready to leave the US and pack up everything and sell a bunch of stuff, throw whatever is left over in the storage unit, when we started that process, I thought, why do we own so much stuff? And a lot of the stuff that we have, we don't even use. It's just been sitting in the house. There's a whole room full of stuff, just storing things. The garage is filled with stuff. And before starting our travel journey, everything we owned felt so normal. That's what we do. Our furnitures, our closets, kitchen cabinets are full, our garages are full, storage bins, decorations, all the things, seasonal stuff, all the things you slowly collect over the many years. After living out of suitcases, the thought of having a house full of stuff and just working so hard to pay that mortgage, pay the insurance, pay, all the repairs and maintenance, all of that stuff, it just felt heavy to even think about now. And all the stuff that we put in a storage unit feels heavy. Obviously, we're able to live out of suitcases. We don't need all that stuff. Not because there's anything wrong with all our belongings, but because I just realized that we hadn't missed a lot of the stuff while we were traveling. So today I'm going to share what travel taught us about downsizing and how you can also afford to travel full time if you got rid of your home base, your house, your cars, all your stuff in the US that cost you just residual fixed cost that you carry around. When we go on vacations, it's expensive because we paying for a mortgage, we paying for cars, we paying for car leases, we paying for insurance, we paying for property tax, we paying for car maintenance, home repair. We paying for everything while we're going on vacation, while our house sits empty, while our car's not being used. But when you do this lifestyle, when you travel full time on the road, if you get rid of your cars, if you get rid of your house, there's no mortgage payment, there's no insurance, there's no property tax, there's no car insurance, there's no car leases. So that is how a lot of people are able to travel full time from country to country. And most Americans don't know about this and they think, oh, you must have millions and millions of dollars to travel full time like these people. No, the key is you're trading out your house, your cars, your stuff in America for your housing, your public transportation, your food in different cultures and amazing food and new attractions and new culture on the road. If you get rid of your mortgage, if you get rid of your car payments, if you get rid of all the insurance and the residual fixed expenses that comes with owning stuff, owning a house, owning cars, owning things in America, you can do this lifestyle too. That's what most Americans don't know is that most Americans can do this. So here's 5 things I'd let go of if I were starting over today. These are the first things I'd seriously consider letting go of if you're looking to retire and travel the world and you're wondering how you can make this affordable financially, how you can afford to travel the world and enjoy your retirement. Number 1, furnitures you don't love or you don't use. Number 2, clothes you haven't worn in the last year or so. Number 3 is kitchen gadgets that are collecting dust. Number 4 is decorations sitting in storage that you bought. Maybe they're seasonal, maybe you used to use it, now you don't use it anymore. Number 5, anything you're paying to store that you can't even remember owning. If you have anything in your garage, if you have anything in your storage units that you have not used in years or months, then those things are good starting points. Hey, real quick before we continue, if you're enjoying this video or wondering how you can get rid of your stuff so you can live your retirement dream and travel the world, click subscribe and don't miss out on videos like this. Let's get back into the video. Now, I'm not saying you need to sell everything right now. There are absolutely things I would keep, like family photos, important documents, and handful of sentimental items that are maybe small, things that truly tell your story. Maybe you can get them digitized, like, handful of photos that you definitely want to keep that are sentimental so you can have it with you while you're traveling instead of having, worrying about physical copy. Downsizing isn't about getting rid of your memories. It's about making room for new memories that you are embarking on. The next thing to remember is you want to start earlier than you think. You're thinking, hey, I'm going to do this. If retirement is still 5 years away, great, but start downsizing today because you'll thank yourself later. Go through one drawer, maybe one closet, just one room in your house, one shelf. That's all. And ask yourself a simple question. If I moved overseas tomorrow, would I pay to store this item? By the way, those storage units that you get, the prices go up over time. We found a storage unit when we were looking to leave and we got rid of a bunch of stuff and whatever we didn't want it to get rid of, we shoved it in a storage unit. And first 6 months, we got a really good deal. So we thought, oh, it's not that much. We can just throw it in the storage. How these storage units operate, at least in the United States, is that they give you an introductory cheap rate for the first 6 months or so. And then after 6 months, they up your rate almost, 50 to 80% or almost close to double of your initial rate. So now you're not just paying $50 a month, you're paying close to $100 a month just to store your stuff that you haven't used in months and maybe years. And how many times you come back to the US to actually use those items. So just know that, if you find a great deal, ask me how I know, and you think that's the rate you're going to pay, oh, it's super cheap, I can just store these items. No, those rates most likely are going to go up because that's the model a lot of these storage units use to get you in through the door with a cheaper price, and then they raise their prices and hike it up. And then now you're paying a couple $100 to pay for what you thought is going to be $40, $50 a month. Honestly, you can just start with things you don't use, things of any value you can sell on places like Facebook Marketplace or other things, or you can donate. If your kids or family members want certain things, you can give it away. And if they don't want it, you can donate it or get rid of it. Start with things that you don't have any emotional attachment. So I don't recommend starting with sentimentals because that's too hard to start with and you would get stuck and overwhelmed. The feeling of overwhelm is real. When you start going through all the stuff that you've collected over the last 20, 30, 40 years, it's going to be very overwhelming to go through all of that. So you want to start with things that, one, you don't use or you haven't used within the last year or so. At least you want to get rid of those. Those clothes that are in the closet that someday close. Or if I need this tool, if you're, if you're God. So those kind of items you haven't used in a while, get rid of those. Those are easy to do. And then if they have any value, obviously you can sell them, make some money. And actually the stuff that we sold before we started our travel journey paid for our first 2 months of travel. Is all the stuff that we were willing to sell and sold on places like Facebook Marketplace. That includes our housing, food, hotels, sightseeing, all of that. We made enough money to pay for at least 2 months, first 2 months of our travel by just selling stuff that we weren't using, that we didn't need anymore, that we didn't want to hold on to. So you can make quite a bit of money depending on how much stuff that you have. It's likely that you're going to have tons of stuff to sell. And if you want to, that's a great way to do it. Or if you just want to call somebody and, to buy all your stuff or just donate it and they'll come haul it out for you. Or you can hire people to come and haul it out if you just don't want to deal with selling them or individually donating and taking them to a donation center. So that's a thing to remember. But if you want to hold on to some things, you have a family member or put small items in the storage unit, just be warned about the storage unit. Usually the price is going to go up after a few months or 6 months or so. And see how many times you're coming back to the States to actually use it. That's something else to consider. But otherwise, if you get rid of the biggest fixed expenses in your life, like mortgage, your cars, your things that you're storing, either paying for storage or filled up in your house, your garage, all the things that are not being used and adding any more value to your life currently. Maybe it has in the past. Maybe your house is filled with your kids' clothes and they haven't use that or worn it for, last 10, 15 years, 20 years, and you just have them by default, they moved out and now you're stuck with their items and you can't bring yourself to get rid of them. But if you want to live this dream of traveling the world and enjoying your retirement, financially, one of the easiest way to make it work is to get rid of all your fixed costs back in the States and use that money to live your life out there full time, and even including transportation between countries and flights, especially if you do slow travel where you spend a month or so or longer in one place and then maybe take ground transportation to the next destination, next city, next country. It is really a lot more affordable than most people think, because right now you're imagining travel, full-time travel, through your lens of once or twice a year you go on this week-long vacation that costs a lot of money, and you're imagining people who do this lifestyle as, oh my gosh, that's going to take so much money. How do they do it? But if you got rid of your house, your mortgage, your cars, your insurance, your property tax, your repairs and maintenance, your storage fees, and everything else, all your bills back home, and just keep minimal, maybe like a travel insurance and, a few things that are necessary, then you can absolutely do this lifestyle. Even if you're just living on Social Security, if you're a couple who are looking to retire and slow travel the world, average Social Security check is anywhere from $1,900 to $2,100 per person in the United States. There's two of you. You get a little bit under $4,000 a month between the two of you. You can easily choose more affordable countries to travel to and do this lifestyle if you got rid of all your fixed costs in the US or majority of it and use that money to travel and enjoy your retirement. So I hope you like this video. If you're looking to retire and slow travel the world in the next 2 to 5 years, I created a free resource called Retirement Readiness Checklist. Check out the link in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss videos like this.